Hey guys, welcome to Together We Can Cook. We're going to be making a fresh salad today with one of my favorite salad dressings. It's called Old Fashioned Salad Dressing. I've had this recipe for many years and I've always enjoyed it, and I just wanted to share it. We're going to start out with this lettuce that I found in the supermarket. Normally I get butter lettuce, but this time it looked like it was wilted and I don't even know what. It looked like it was left out like in the heat or something. All the lettuce in the store actually didn't look so great. So I had to come up with another plan. There was plenty of different types of lettuce to pick from. They had romaine and they had these pre-washed lettuce. So this actually is butter lettuce, but I don't have to cut it or do anything to it. It's already pretty much prepared. And then there was another mix in a bag that I found, and it was a red leaf lettuce. And it's already washed and ready to use. So I don't have to do much with that. I'm just going to rip this up and get it into smaller pieces so that it's easier to eat. And after I make it a little bit smaller, like look at this one. So I'm just trying to get it a little smaller. Then we can start chopping up our fresh vegetables for the salad. And at the way end, we're going to make that old-fashioned salad dressing. I don't even remember where I got that recipe. I've had it for so many years. I have no idea how I even got this. I don't know. It could have been anywhere, a magazine, a cookbook, online. All right, so this looks pretty good. I am going to set my lettuce aside. Actually, this is an easy one to add in. Let's start with this one. This is just chickpeas. Did I lose one? No. We're going to just sprinkle the chickpeas all around. I'm trying not to make this too wet because I want this to last for a few days. I actually always put down paper towels on the bottom of the container. So I don't think you can see it because it's mostly covered, but I put the paper towels down, then the lettuce. I just added the chickpeas, and this is actually another easy one to just add right in. These are cherry tomatoes, and I've already washed them, and I'm just going to sprinkle them all around. Okay, so already our salad is growing, and let's move on. I have a dish of radishes here. I rinsed them off. They came in a bunch, like with all the leaves and everything on them. So I cleaned them up and I cut off the little root on the bottom and all the stuff that was on the top. And if I saw any weird spots that I didn't want to eat, I cut that off. And I'm not going to use this whole bowl. Usually when I buy a bunch of radishes, I use a few, and my husband actually is the one that mostly eats the radishes. I like them, but I don't love them. If they were missing from the salad, I don't know if I'd really care too much. But I'm going to cut up some of these and I'm going to get them in. I love the color though, that they're this hot pink color. It makes the salad look really pretty. So I'm going to keep slicing and we're going to get these in and see what the salad is looking like. I actually hard boiled some eggs. This salad is for dinner, so it's not going to be like a little side salad and we have, a lot of other stuff with it. I made double stuffed potatoes to have on the side, so it's basically going to be a potato and this salad. So I'm trying to like bulk it up so that it's a little more hearty because the salad is the meal. All right, so let's get these radishes in. Let's see what they're going to look like in here. We need enough, but we don't want a million. I think we probably have enough. Let's get all of them in, and then we can switch over to something else. All right, that looks pretty good. I can't even get this one up. Okay, so we're going to switch over. I have a Kirby cucumber, and I absolutely love these because they don't have that waxy skin at the supermarket where I get them. They seem like they're so fresh, and they're just like what I grow in my garden in the summer. So I'm going to choose these. and they smell so good already. I could just eat them just like this. I'm going to try to slice them up kind of thin, and we're going to add them in. I have two. I don't know if I need two, but I bought two just in case. And we're going to add this. I'm almost done. All right, let's do the other half. Okay, I switched over to the overhead view so that you guys can get a little bit better of a picture of what's going on here. So I have my cucumbers, and I'm just going to sprinkle them all around. And I am going to move on to this green bell pepper. It's pretty big. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the whole thing. Let's see when we cut it up what it's looking like. So I usually always do this about the same way. I cut the top, and then I make little strips just like that. Thin little strips. And then we're going to sprinkle these in the salad also. You can use any kind of peppers. I usually try to get the colorful ones sometimes because I just like all different colors in the salad. It makes it look so pretty. But I think these green ones, taste-wise, are my favorite. I can tell right when I walk past them in the supermarket. You can just smell those peppers. They smell so good. You can usually gauge how things are going to be just by the smell. If I go food shopping and they have melons in the summer or peaches, you can usually tell if they're going to be good. Or I've gotten a lot of, like, not rotten peaches, but I've gotten a lot of fruit these past couple years that they just don't taste good. They're not sweet. They don't have any flavor. But usually if you smell it, you can kind of tell if it's going to be good or bad. I know there's all kinds of theories about how to pick a good watermelon. I don't even know what they actually are. Something about like this, if it has like a, where the flat spot is, what color it is. And I think I've seen a lot of people online, they thump on it and they listen to it. And there's all different theories about how to pick a good watermelon. And I've gotten some really good ones, and I've gotten some horrible ones. I had one once that literally like exploded and started leaking all over my counter. There must have been something really bad with that one, but usually they're actually good. I kind of miss the watermelons from when I was a kid that had the seeds. Now none of them really have seeds. I feel like they used to maybe taste better when they were just good old fashioned things and not altered. All right, I think we have more than we need. I'm going to sprinkle this around and let's see. I'm sure I have too much already. Could probably, maybe I'll finish cutting this. I feel bad leaving this little piece out. Let him join his friends. Okay, we're going to add this in. I'm going to give it a little mix back here just to get everything moving around. Here's how it's looking. Absolutely gorgeous. And I am going to go get my peeler for the carrot, and I'll be back in 1 second. I'm back with my peeler. I'm just going to cut the ends off here and peel this carrot. I've tried to leave my salad close by so that you guys can see how pretty it looks. I love a good salad. Especially it is good if you could make this last for a couple days or meal prep this for lunch. It saves you a little bit. One more little piece. Okay. Let's get this out of here. And we're going to start cutting up the carrot. I'm going to put it right over here. Okay. I'm going to do thin little slices. If you have one of those mandolin tools, you could use that here. I actually have this electric, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called a Cuisinart. It's like an electric chopper, and it has all different attachments. You could do shredded, sliced, or in the bottom there's a blade, and it just spins around and chops everything up tiny. Sometimes I send everything through the machine, but I kind of feel like it's cheating. It goes so fast, and then that's it. And I kind of enjoy sitting and fixing my own stuff like this. All right, it's really looking pretty now with all these colors. I'm going to keep going with the carrot. I'm going to move on to onions and celery next. We'll add some crunchiness. I love the taste of the salad with onions, but I never eat them. I know it sounds crazy. I like the flavoring. Like, we're going to have this tomorrow. So those onions are going to flavor everything in this bowl. My husband will eat them, and so will my son. But I just like the flavor that it gives to everything, and I usually pick them away and don't eat them. Okay, this is the end of the carrot. So let's get this in. Maybe I'll give it a little mix here. And we're going to move right along. So this onion I must have been using maybe yesterday or the day before. So I always try to use things up in my recipes and in my salads. If I already have something on hand, why let it go to waste? So I try to incorporate things in if I know that I have it. So we're going to add this in. The end is always like really, really tricky to cut up. I'm trying to keep it in skinny slices. Okay. I'm going to pick this up with the scraper. Move this back over here. I'm going to sprinkle our onions. Perfect. Okay. Let me grab my celery. Moving right along. Okay, so this is at the end. If this was like a roasted chicken or something, I like to use all these leaves. It's safe to eat them. I know a lot of people don't, but if I was going to be doing some sort of roast or a soup, I would wash these and put this right on in there. But for the sake of our salad, I'm going to take these white parts off. I took the leaves off. I'm not going to put tons of celery. I'm just going to put like this much just to give it a little crunch. I just have to run to the sink to wash them, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have the celery all washed off. I dried it up a little bit with a paper towel. I'm going to add this in so that we have a little bit of crunch here. I always try to put celery in a lot of my recipes. Stuffing, chicken salad, tuna salad. I try to sneak it in everywhere. Soups. Okay, this is enough. I'm going to scoop it up, sprinkle it all around, and we're going to move on to the eggs. So I use my little egg boiling machine. It's electric and it just sits on the counter. And I boiled these eggs. I'm going to try to take the shells off without destroying them. So we got one. Let's see how well this one comes up. I'm going to rinse them under the water after I get the shells off, because I'm sure there's a couple itty bitty pieces of shell stuck on here. Sometimes I keep a bowl of water next to where I'm cooking, and I just dip them in the water just to get all the little shell remnants off. Okay, here's the last one. I think I'm going to go in the pantry and look for some olives next. Okay, I'm going to take my eggs over to the sink and rinse them off because I see a few little shells here. Okay, let's cut up these hard-boiled eggs and place them in. They don't have any shells on them anymore. I'm just going to stagger them all around the bowl. I'm going to leave them in half like this. And one more. Okay, and I went over to the pantry and I did find some black olives. They're actually sliced, so this makes it a little easier. I'm going to sprinkle these all around. And I think that's going to wrap up the part with the salad. We're going to move on to making our dressing. I'm just going to maybe try to mix these in just a little tiny bit without disturbing my eggs, so we don't have tons in one spot. Okay, this looks really nice. Here's how the salad is looking. I'm going to set this aside and we're going to work on our old-fashioned salad dressing together. I have all the ingredients here for our old-fashioned salad dressing. I'm going to start out with the sugar. We need 2 tablespoons of sugar. And while I have the tablespoon in my hand, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar. I had to look at the recipe there and double check myself. It is 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar. Okay. We have 5 tablespoons of milk in this cup. So let's add the milk. And in this cup, I have 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise. I'm going to move this in the bowl. This is a very basic dressing, but it is really good. So I'm going to whisk all of this together, get it evenly mixed up. And you can adjust the taste. If you like things a little more on the soury side, you could put a little more cider vinegar. If you like things a little sweeter, you can add a little more sugar. You can also add any kind of dried seasoning. If you really love the flavor, it could go right in here because this is really basic. This could hold all kinds of spices. I am going to put it in this container to make it look extra fancy. I try to mix it in this bowl because once it gets in this thing, you're never going to be able to get down there. So I mix it up in here first. Let's try to get this in without making a big mess and losing it. I might take a piece of cucumber or something and dip it in just to be 100% sure that it's just how I wanted it. Can always add things in, but we can't take things out once we put them in. I'll just get the last of this out. Okay, I got it all in, and I don't really think I spilled a drop, so not bad. I have a little piece of cucumber here. I'm going to stick it in the dressing and see what it tastes like. It's good. It's really good. It's just how I like it. When I serve the salad, I'm actually going to put ground black pepper. I mean, this is plain and it's really basic, but sometimes I like plain and basic. Everything always doesn't have to be overly complicated. So we have everything ready for dinner tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a kind of busy day for me. So I'm going to put this away and I'm going to put this away. And I made double stuffed potatoes before that I'm going to serve on the side. And I'm all set. I won't be racing around tomorrow night. All right, that just wraps this up for today. Here's our beautiful salad and our delicious dressing, and we are all set for a busy day tomorrow where we will still have a homemade, yummy, delicious, fresh dinner. If you stayed this long, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Happy cooking!